Okay, well, I'm kind of excited, I'll have to admit. This is the first of a series of lab days in which, for the pre-lab assignment, you're just going to be following along with some example videos that I make, and you're going to be creating basically a simple working app. Hopefully, if everything works as planned, you'll be able to follow pretty much doing exactly what I do. And in doing so, create that working app. And you'll have that kind of as a reference. One, you'll have done it once, but also you'll have it as a reference as you move forward to kind of help you get a sense of how you might apply the same concepts in the homework assignment. So, let's jump in. First of all, I've got some starter code posted at Bitbucket. And the URL, if you want to use the HTTPS version, it's you do get clone HTTPS tsargent at bitbucket.org/tsargent/sayit starter for W2. So just go ahead and clone the repository. By the way, where did I just do that command? I'm working on the CSCI server in my web space. So you're going to go to your web space and your CSCI server. I think what I had asked you to do in the previous assignment was you were going to actually have a Web2 directory. So you would probably want to do this inside of your Web2 directory. But I'm fine with whatever. I'm going to take this complicated name and I'm going to call it just Sayit. That way I don't have to, remember all that other complicated stuff whenever I want to work in the Sayit directory. A great thing to do whenever you clone, a code base is just take a look at what's there. We've got an index.php. This is going to be our main page or application. A JS folder, a CSS folder. And if we just kind of look in the JS folder, there's just one document called Sayit. You can see its action is it selects an element whose ID is update, and when that element's clicked, it will reload the page. Okay, that's good to know. Let's see, as far as CSS goes, just one document in there. We change our box sizing model. We have some just kind of very basic, simple um, arrangements, to make the app look decent. But again, there's not anything special there really. And then there's a folder called SQL, which is that's going to have some database startup code. Normally, you wouldn't have this inside of a repository for a web app, but for this class, we aren't really wanting you to become database experts in this class, and so pretty much all the database commands that you might need, I go ahead and provide for you. So basically, this code in the database, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. It'll create a new table called Sayit users, then another one Sayit messages, and then we do some inserts into users and messages. I think if you kind of look at this, it's like, okay, a user has an ID, an email, and what we're going to call their screen name. And then messages, each message will have its own unique ID. We need to know the user who created the message, which will link up to this user ID here. We'll have a timestamp. We need to know the topic of the message and actually the contents of the message. So that's kind of the arrangement. I think, and if we just take a look at the HTML code, very basic kind of stuff here in the header. I am pulling in jQuery, so that's available. We've got our custom JavaScript code there, which we'll enhance later. And then we have a list of things that have already been said. This Sayit app basically is going to be a real simple web app whose purpose is to take things that people posted and just list them from the most recent stuff listed first. And I think we'll probably chop it off at 10 or whatever. But for now, we're not going to be too worried about those details. And then if you want to, down here, we're going to have a little form that basically lets you say stuff yourself. And that can be you creating a new topic, or you can actually select topics that have already been chosen, and then you type in your message to say whatever you wanted to say, which will then be posted to the app. So all the users will just be able to kind of randomly post stuff. So that's the concept behind this Sayit app. So the first thing I think we would like to do now that we've cloned the repository is to get the database set up. You remember our database access is going to be through a Postgres front end that's on the CSCI server. And the only thing I'll say about that is it's a little odd, but when you get here, it's kind of like it's not obvious what you need to do. If you click here where it says PostgreSQL, that'll actually pop up the login screen. So from the login screen, you're gonna the user that we're all going to be using and sharing in here is Web2, and you remember, I'm sure, the password that we discussed in class. That's what goes here. And then you can see we've got several databases set up. You're going to be doing all your work in the Web2 database. So if you click here to open up, you'll see there's several schemas here. You need to actually create a new schema. And to do that, if you'll just click here on this little where it says schemas, just click there and click create schema. And you will establish your schema. So I'm going to call my schema demo. And then I'll do all my work in the demo schema. So when you create yours, I want you to use your name, enough of your name to distinguish you from your classmates, so that whenever I'm trying to debug stuff and figure out stuff, I'll know where to go to get to your information. So again, I'm going to be working here in this demo schema. Okay, the next thing I need to do is I'm going to go to click here on demo, and it's ready for me to either create tables or do something. I want to open a SQL window here, and I'm going to basically paste in these commands that were from the SQL commands that were here in my repository. So I'll copy in. I'm going to create the two tables, and I'm gonna paste that code in here and say execute. Important, before you do that command, you need to make sure that the schema search path is set to demo. Otherwise, it's going to put it somewhere else, and it's not where you want it. Oh, no, sorry. Your schema path, this should be the schema path that you created, not the demo schema path. So since I created the demo schema, that's why I have demo here. You're going to have whatever your name that you created there. So I'm going to say execute, and if everything works right, no rows found, that's good. That means it liked it. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to delete these, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to get the other set of commands here, all these inserts. Oh, and I have some views that are in there too. We'll get those done too. So I'm going to take the inserts and I'm going to paste them in here, execute, and I'm going to take that out, and then finally I will come in and take these views that we're creating. These will just be for convenience sake, but you'll want to have them for future purposes. So I'm going to paste those in here and execute. All right, so when I'm done, if I look in this demo schema, you can see there's two tables. And if I were to take one of those tables and just look at it, you can see I have the fake data that I put in there. So I think database is all set up. Okay, I'm gonna stop this particular video, and we'll pick up with the stuff for the rest of the pre-lab in the next video.